Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is Wednesday night, which lets you know this is the Heavy Hitters Live Wednesday. As you already know, the heavy hitters are in town. I am your host. If you're new to the show, I am your host, Six Man K Styles. To my stage left, um, somebody just mad over there. We call him Senator Palpatine, but that's mad. You know him by Mad Mike
I am
Sports.
not mad.
Um,
I resent that. I am not mad, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, that's good. Like I said, I just want you to reaffirm that you're not mad. That's why I had to step on your toe there. As you know, below him,
Mm,
as you already know, the Summer Hill Nightmare, but you call him the Don, or as he would like
What's
to be
good?
called today, Downtown Don.
Downtown done. 12
That's
time
right.
national champion of Michigan Wolverines. It's showtime, folks. Let's get it.
And we have a special guest with us tonight, man. Go ahead, introduce yourself, man. Let people know who you are, man.
Man, I'm just disappointed. I don't got a cool nickname like you guys do.
I mean,
plain default.
let me
we
see.
good at nicknames. We
All right.
really good with
Hold
that.
on. Hey, we're gonna make an activity out of this with the people. Let's go ahead and get ready to
Gridiron Grizzly. That's what
I
it
like
is.
it.
The
I
grid.
like it. I like it.
Grizak. Okay, we got
Riz.
Gridiron.
Grid.
I like that.
Bam,
I
there you
like it.
go.
Yeah.
We got Blaine,
I
aka
can dig
Gridiron
it.
Grizak. Go ahead, man.
Love it.
Introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, I'm Gridiron Greasack tonight. And I write for the I write about the Los Angeles Rams over at Turf Showtimes.
Okay. What you about to say something, Don?
I wasn't about to say nothing. I'm glad to have him on, man. Like I know we were
Hey,
trying to get somebody on to talk about our new coaches that we just hired for the team. So who know
okay.
better than them? Who know more than Grizak?
Okay. All right, so now y'all, I know y'all normally used to seeing Jew here tonight, taking care of family situations. Son EJ ain't feeling well, so Jew, like you said, if you watching, man, hope the family do well. Hope your son get well soon, man. So
Feel better,
hope
EJ.
get
Yeah,
better,
feel
EJ.
better, man.
All right, so we doing it. We doing this one for you tonight, man. So hey, let's go ahead and get right into it, man. We got the roll call. Like I said, let's just get right into the content. Like I said, we appreciate everybody. We'll do the shouts out a little bit later. Don, go ahead. What you running point with this one, man? How we doing this?
Let's start off with the transactions that were made today. So big news came out of Flower Branch that we are retaining Jerry Gray as the assistant head coach and defense, pretty much secondary. That's a huge move that we made, just keeping him here. He joined the team last year. Everybody thought that, with a new coaching change that he was going to end up leaving, but I'm glad Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot just, probably sat him to the side and be like, hey, man, we want you with this new regime. We need you to coach these young guys up. Like 40 years of experience, man, you can't just have somebody walk out the door like that. So I'm glad he's here to stay for another year or two. We also got our D-line coach, Jay Rogers from the Los Angeles Chargers. We're going to talk more about him possibly next week. So did a little research on him. Pass defense for the Chargers, they were a little bit above average. However, their run defense, it wasn't looking good. So, but I think our D line we have more talent, and we know that we can stop the run with the guys we have here. So we'll see how he comes in to help our D line with the acquisition of Jimmy Lake as well. And Steve Sarkania, he is the director of coaching. So I guess he's just pretty much be in the coach's room, making sure they're doing what they need to do, and If they need anything here, he goes to Terry Fontenot. So he's like a bridge guy, liaison between the front office and the coaching staff.
So Gridiron Grisick, man. Hey, I know he's reveling in it right now, man. So as far as the Rams, man, what as far as the coaches that fit, how did you feel about how your team did this year with everything y'all had as far as not only just the team and having a few rookies step up? And do you feel like the coaching staff played any input on these guys stepping up when they needed y'all to do?
Yeah, I mean, I was really impressed with the job that the Rams did this year. And coming into the year, I think you guys probably know that everybody kind of saw Rams as a team that was tanking and not really poised to win this year, and they ended up making the playoffs. So obviously, we're really impressed with that. And then they took Detroit down to the wire, only losing by 1 point in the wild card round. So yeah, really happy there. But yeah, I think the coaching staff just really played a huge role. Raheem Morris on that defense. I mean, outside of Aaron Donald, I'm not sure how many people could have named a lot of players in that defense coming into the year. And you had Byron Young, a third round rookie with, I think he finished with 8 sacks. Kobe Turner was absolutely dominant on the defensive line. He'll be in the running for defensive rookie of the year, I believe. Finished with 9 sacks and tied Aaron Donald's rookie franchise record for sacks in a season for the Rams. So yeah, it's just they really maximized the talent that they had. Where if I think a lot of coaches in the league take that team to where a lot of people expected them, which was a 4, 5, 6 win team, and this coaching staff really maximized their players and it ended up with a playoff appearance.
Okay. Mike, you got anything to add to that, man?
Yeah, Bigger got a big old butt. Oh yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
See, now you just added another song to the playlist, man. Come on.
I'm just kidding. No, I think as far as the Ram is concerned, um, hmm, I have a question for my Blaine. The running game. Now, obviously, we have the offensive coordinator Zach Robinson. How would you rate the Rams' running game? Is it something that you thought was consistent? As far as the offensive line, it was pretty much dominated by the offensive line, or was it more so the running back? I forget his name right on the tip of my tongue, but do you feel like it was the offensive line or more so the talent of the running back?
I think it was a little bit of a combination of everything. I think it was a little bit the scheme, a little bit the running back. Kyron Williams had a fantastic year.
Right.
And then I think part of it was the offensive line too. They kind of started to gel, and things got better as they got better as the year went on. But yeah, as far as the running game is concerned, again, I think they just kind of they did kind of maximize the talent there. Kyron Williams was only drafted in the 5th round. Wasn't seen as a guy in the draft that was going to be this bell cow and going to be able to carry the running game of an offense. And he did exactly that. They completely shifted their running scheme this year. That they in a Shanahan scheme, most of the time you're going to be in this wide zone, this outside zone style running game, and the Rams completely shifted to more of a gap power and duo, and it paid dividends. And I think Zach Robinson probably had a little bit with that install. Him and Mike LaFleur. And I think Zach Robinson really deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. I think with the backup quarterbacks, Stetson Bennett wasn't on the team in the regular season, but had a pretty good preseason. Last year he played in a huge role in getting Baker Mayfield ready for that Thursday night game against the Raiders. He comes in on short notice and does a really good job. Helps coach up Carson Wentz this year when he came in. So, I think he's really instrumental to what the Rams have done on offense.
We don't use that word on here. That little small midget that you just said. We don't use Stetson Bennett on this show.
He's
All
not
right.
a Stetson Bennett fan. Just letting you know
No.
So
that.
I got a question. And you brought up Kyron Williams and how Zach Robinson utilized him this season. How can you I want you to visualize Zach Robinson using a guy like Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier here in Atlanta, and hopefully Cordell Patterson if Cordell wants to stay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Bijan Robinson is just he's different. He's a special player, and I think you can do a lot with him, both in the run game and as a receiver. It is going to be interesting to kind of see, I guess, how he utilizes both of them, because I think Bijan and Algier, they both have, that's a really good 1-2 punch. I mean, Algier as a rookie had a really good year, and then they draft Bijan in the top 10 last season, and I think he's a lot better than our Arthur Smith. And obviously, as you guys know, didn't get the most out of him. So, yeah, I think you're going to get a guy in Zach Robinson is going to maximize that talent, and he's going to see Bijan Robinson as a talented player and find out the best ways to use him. And he's not just a running back; he's an offensive somebody you have to get involved in the passing game and things like that. And then I think there's a lot of fun pieces on the Falcons offense, and you get somebody like Zach Robinson who's worked under Sean McVay the last 4 years, and I think that's a chance to be a really fun offense this year.
So would you say the offense is more predicated on passing or running? Like what in your mind, what do you think the percentages are as far as the run pass? Like from what you've seen?
Yeah, it's tough because I think he's going to. I guess it depends what your quarterback situation is like. I think if it's going to be Desmond Ritter again, or insert bridge quarterback here type player, I think you're going to see more of a run focused offense, because that's you trust Bijan Robinson a lot more than you trust just ex quarterback. So, but it's not because the Rams have Matthew Stafford, and obviously you're going to put the ball in Matthew Stafford's hands as much as possible. So, if you guys go up and get a guy like Jaden Daniels or something in the top 10 of the draft, I could see it being a little more pass heavy, but utilizing the run to kind of be that safety blanket, I guess, for a young quarterback. But yeah, I mean the Rams have been a pass heavy team, but it's been a lot about bringing the run and pass together and making sure that they're playing off of each other, and that's what you want in the offense.
Okay, yeah, could I kind of ask that question too, because like you said, definitely shout out to Kyron Williams. Like you said, he had a pretty good year this year. I see a lot of people with Atwell, like you've had a plethora of guys that kind of made a name of themselves this year. Tyler Higbee, we already know what kind of a reliable guy he is, but that boy Puka, like I think Puka. I see. I don't know how to say the last name the right way, so I just call him Sir Puka.
I butcher it every time. I just stay away from it.
Look, it's funny. I got a cousin. His nickname Puka. So
no, but like you said, I refer to him because it's how everybody always say where you got these high profile guys, but put in the right situation, certain guys will step up into that role, and you can get more in depth as far as how you feel about Puka and his development year to year, especially breaking the rookie receiving yards record.
Yeah, I mean, with Puka Nacua, it comes down to, again, just kind of bringing that run game and pass game together. I mean, what he does is receiver. The numbers speak for themselves. He broke the rookie receiving yards record, which hadn't been done in 60 years, and then he also breaks the rookie receptions record. And but they also utilized him as a blocker in the run game a lot. Like he'd come in through like literally running through the offensive line and do a wham block on a linebacker. He was getting physical, and it wouldn't surprise me if Zach Robinson figures a way to do some of those to get the receivers involved in the run game as well. Just because it's such an implemental aspect of how run and pass are brought together in a Sean McVay offense to make it work at its full potential. So. But yeah, I mean, Puka was absolutely incredible. 5th-round pick. Nobody really saw it coming. Dominated the middle of the field. I could see kind of Drake London kind of being in that role or top role in that offense and having success.
You see, you walk right into
we were just about to ask you that.
Exactly.
We about to ask you that.
See, that lets you know he's fitting well because he already a step ahead of what we were about to do.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, Don, you got, like I said, you got anything you said you wanted to talk about Jimmy Lake? You want to go ahead and touch on that?
Really, just one question, because Jimmy Lake was only there just this season. So how do you feel about Jimmy Lake and his contribution to the Rams this season?
Yeah, he was brought in as an assistant head coach. I'm not sure, I guess, his exact role, I guess. I think he helped out on the defense and probably in the secondary a little bit. I know him and Raheem Morris go all the way back to their time in Tampa Bay, I believe. In 20, I forget what year, but I think 1 year,
2011. Like,
yeah, I think Morris was the defensive backs coach, and Lake was the assistant defensive backs coach. So they go way back, and it wouldn't have surprised me had Raheem Morris not brought Jimmy Lake over to Atlanta. It wouldn't have surprised me had the Rams interviewed Lake to be one of their in-house candidates to be their defensive coordinator.
Okay. Mike, you got anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah. As far as the defensive line is concerned, so is there anything specific that you saw under Raheem Morris on the previous defensive coordinators, as far as stunts, how they utilize their defensive linemen, whether it's bigger defensive edge guys, because we have a guy in Zach Harrison who is K-Styles guy. So what did you see this year that was a bit different?
I think it was just Raheem Morris got really creative, only because he really had to. They have a lot of talent, so the way you overcome that talent is getting creative and just throwing funky stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks. And that's kind of exactly what he did. I mean, they'd have this the defensive package it would be called Boss. We had big on the same side. So they'd have 3 of their bigger guys line up, just stack one side of the defensive line, and have one guy separating isolation on the opposite side. And they had a lot of success with that. With him, you got a lot of different, a lot of creative looks on the defensive line. You get Kobe Turner lined up with Aaron Donald, and you have Aaron Donald get that double team, but that would set up an ISO situation for Kobe Turner and give him a favorable matchup. So with Raheem Morris on that defensive line and in those pass rush situations, you're going to get he's going to find ways to put guys in favorable situations to get them that one-on-one and give them a chance to win their matchups.
Okay. Fellas, do we got any more of the questions on the coaches? Don, any more questions on coaches?
So because we really want to talk a little bit more about Raheem Morris, and what do you think Raheem Morris' biggest contribution to? I know y'all won a Super Bowl at 21 season, but what was what were 3 major contributions that Raheem Morris gave to the Rams his 3 years there? Because the thing is, there are a lot of fans. There are still a lot of Falcons fans still on the fence about the hire of Raheem Morris as our head coach. Because remember, he was here under Dan Quinn as since the head coach. He was a receivers coach at first. The latter part of Dan Quinn's tenure here, they moved him to the defensive side of the ball, and he was the interim head coach after Quinn got fired after we went 0-5 in 2020. So, and he ended the season with 4-12. So, but we want to know like his growth, his progression since he's been in Los Angeles.
Yeah, so I think I'll give you three major contributions. I think you go back to 2021 when Morris was brought in to be the defensive coordinator, and you look at the year before, the Rams had Brandon Staley. They had the number 1 defense, and that was a really good unit. And so when the Rams brought in Raheem Morris, they didn't just want they didn't just want him to run his stuff. They wanted him to take what Brandon Staley had already installed and advance it. And that's exactly what he did. And I don't think that's something, that versatility and kind of that openness to kind of change your bread and butter, change your scheme a little bit. I don't think you get that in a lot of coaches, that they're going to run what they're going to run, and you're going to like it, I guess. This is kind of, I think, how a lot of it's just that's how the ego of NFL coaches works, and that's not Raheem Morris. He came in, he learned Brandon Staley's scheme basically on the fly, and then advanced what the Rams were doing in 2020 under Staley, and progressed it. So and to help him win a Super Bowl in 2021, and then you go to 2022, and I think this is kind of Raheem Morris's biggest trait, is that he's that glue in the locker room. He's somebody that's going to the guys are going to gravitate towards. Obviously, 2022 it wasn't a good year for him. I think they finished 5-12. It was McVay's worst year, and McVay kind of checked out a little bit, and Raheem Morris stepped up and was that guy the guys could go in and talk. He was just a guy that players could gravitate towards. I think that's somebody that you want in a head coach. He's that natural leader that he's a true leader of men, and that's what you want in a head coach. And then this past year, I think it was just getting the most out of his guys, like we've talked about. The Rams didn't really have a lot of talent on that defense, and he got the most out of a guy like Kobe Turner that was completely overlooked. Didn't even get a combine invite last year, and he's in the running for defensive rookie of the year. Byron Young started off really strong. Ernest Jones became one of the best blitzing linebackers in the NFL this year. So as far as, I guess, just from a schematic standpoint, he's willing to shift his scheme. He's a true leader, and I think that's kind of what you want as head coach. And then he's somebody that's going to be able to develop players that to maximize their talent.
Okay.
All right. Let's like I said, we got the pleasantries out the way. Let's get into a little bit of some fun stuff. So people that's in the chat, man, y'all got some questions for Blaine over here, man. Just let them fly. But I got a question.
We're not talking about stick Quavius, all right? No more stick Quavius questions. Thank you.
Man, y'all don't shut up about the stick Quavius. All right. So, Red-Eye Grissack. Hey, man. Aaron Donald, man. Considered what? Like I said, now in recent years is now going to be considered one of the greatest defensive players that we've ever seen, man. Hey, what do you think about that conversation right there?
Yeah, it's tough. I think from a bias standpoint, I would say that Aaron Donald is the greatest. I think it's so hard to separate those top guys. I mean, it's when Bill Belichick talks about Lawrence, he talks about him like nobody's ever going to be as great as Lawrence Taylor. And then Reggie White was just an absolute force to be reckoned with. back when he played. But I think Donald's right up there in that conversation. I don't know if there's a lot that separates them, but yeah, he's definitely in that conversation for sure.
Mm.
I think if he can get a fourth defensive player of the year, I think he'll separate himself. But I kind of see, I think it'll be tough for him to get that fourth.
Okay. So, Mike, give the people your personal thoughts on Mr. Aaron Donald, aka the Hulk, as I call him, because that last Super Bowl y'all was in, I think the one thing that kind of changed the game was, I don't know what the Cincinnati offensive lineman was, but for some reason he decided to get on Aaron Donald's bad side after they dominate, and then it just went downhill for Cincinnati after that. Don, Mike, what y'all think? So what y'all think on the Aaron Donald conversation?
Well, me personally, I would never put anybody over Reggie White. Reggie White was just that dude was just it didn't matter what his assignment was. He dominated from nose tackle, third tech. Like he dominated every position. And he did it from the uh late 90s, late 80s.
Yeah,
90s,
mid
yeah,
80s,
the
mid
late
80s,
80s all the way
mid
to like
80s,
mid 90s. So
mid 80s,
I-
late 90s. Yeah.
yeah, so this like even to the end, he was fairly um dominant. But like the thing I will say about Aaron Donald, I don't think there's been a defensive lineman um a more gifted, athletically gifted lineman in the history of the NFL. I just think his athleticism, man, for him to be able to move like that still at this age, from 23, 24 when he came into league to now, this dude is just a machine, and he just doesn't look like he's slowing down. As far as him is concerned, athletically gifted, man, I don't think it's been close as far as his athleticism is concerned, but it's Reggie White, man. Like this dude literally physically outmatch a guy like Larry Allen. That in itself is a feat. That is a feat. He physically dominated this guy. So it's like Aaron Donald. I think it's Reggie White,
Is
Lawrence
Reggie White?
Taylor,
Is
and
Reggie?
that's it. That's Reggie White. Just oh my god!
Yeah,
If y'all
Reggie
just
White.
go look at Reggie White, he's just a
He's
league of his own, bro.
he's in the league. Is also Mean Joe Green was too. And I'm just talking defensive tackles because we know Rick White was an outside guy, but he could play inside as well. But I can you can make the argument with Aaron Donald. You can make the argument with him and Warren Sapp. Those two guys. And remember, like Warren Sapp, that man was a beast. He was a
Oh
tackle.
yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, saying that Donald's better than Reggie White, that goes to show you that it's a lot of these young guys that haven't seen tape of a Reggie White back in the day.
Mm.
So, yeah.
And I think it also comes down to who you grow up watching as well. Like for me, cause when Aaron Donald first came in the league, I know a lot of people were saying they was worried about his size and did he have like the short arms or something like that.
Yeah, coming out like he still is a smaller. Still is relatively smaller. He's not a small human being by any means, but compared to other defensive tackles, he's definitely smaller. But he wins with his quickness. He wins with his hands. He wins by putting in that extra work. And yeah, I agree with you guys. I think it's tough to. I've watched a lot of Reggie White highlights, and he was a fun player to watch. It's great player, and he's deservedly so in that greatest of all time conversation. I think kind of where Aaron Donald, I don't want to say separates himself because they're both they're both all in the same tier. Is that playing on the interior? Aaron Donald's been one of the most double team and triple team players in the NFL ever since he's been in the league. It's never easy for him. So I still don't know if that's enough to put him above a guy like Reggie White, but as far as being kind of that best interior defensive lineman, would you compare him to get somebody maybe like a Warren Sapp that you guys brought up earlier? He's definitely the best interior guy for sure.
Okay.
That's it. I'll take Mean Joe Green out of that though. Like Mean Joe Green, he was a league on his own as well. So
I mean, you take a guy that body slams centers for a living. Yeah, that's why they call him Joe Green.
Mean Joe Green.
beat folks up with their own helmets.
Right.
We didn't get to see Deacon Jones. I've heard a lot about Deacon Jones. He's another guy that, like, when you look at how he. Yeah,
so
those guys on the league.
We need to talk to Sam about that because
yeah, way before my time.
You talk about Bradshaw's clothesline from hell. That's where he got it from. He got it from Deacon Jones, from what I heard.
Yeah,
but Blaine, man, I'm gonna ask you this, man. How long have you been a Rams fan? How where the furthest back you can recall?
Yeah. So when I first started watching football was during the great Sean was that year they beat the Titans in the Super Bowl. So that year I fell in love with Kurt Warner and kind of his story. And I was only six at the time, but they were such a fun team to watch that I just kind of I guess I latched on and never jumped off the bandwagon. So yeah, been a fan ever since. And there was a rough period there between 2007 and 2016, but back on top now.
Okay. And you actually went right into what I was going to ask, man, because as we kind of know, like today's football, and a lot of football fans know, when it comes to the quarterback position, we're always looking at, okay, the best quarterback in the draft and who's the highly touted guy. But just from your experience, a guy like Kurt Warner kind of came out of nowhere, because I know y'all had that point where, Trent Green went down and a lot of the Rams fans didn't know what to expect. And then, like you said, you bring in a guy like Kurt Warner, and like you said, the birth of the greatest show on turf, man. So I want you to go ahead and explain to the people, man, how like you said, how fun it was to watch, like Kurt Warner.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot, like in detail, because I was only six at the time. But it was one of those offenses that just like it grabbed your attention immediately, and it was one of those offenses. It was fun to watch. It's still considered one of the greatest offenses of all time for a reason. I think it set up a lot of kind of what the modern NFL is in terms of just the modern passing game and things like that. I mean, Marshall Faulk was an absolutely electrifying player at running back. Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, still probably one of the greatest wide receiver duos of all time. And then you have Kurt comes out of absolutely nowhere. That I think it kind of just shows. And I think we're kind of having a similar conversation with Brock Purdy right now. Is it you don't necessarily have to be the most athletically gifted person. You don't have to have the athleticism of a Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson to be successful at the quarterback position. If you can sit in the pocket and throw missiles, you can be successful in the NFL, even if that means if you're somebody that was undrafted or a 7th round pick or whatnot.
Okay. All right, man.
So,
hold on.
So you've been in. Oh, you go ahead. My fault. Go ahead.
Let me get this out the way. So shout out to Fred Bus for the $2 super chat. He said Reggie White was throwing people with one hand. Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
Appreciate that, Fred. Go ahead, Don.
So you said you've been a Rams fan for that long. So you live in Los Angeles, right?
No. So I grew up in Montana, so we just don't have a so I think that's why I latched on to a random team like the Rams rather than just like a hometown team or whatnot. But now I'm up in upstate New York. There's a lot of Bills fans up here, a lot of disappointed Bills fans after choking against the Kansas City Chiefs once again. So
Lord.
So yeah, but yeah, no, I grew up in Montana and just kind of didn't really have a hometown team, so the Rams were the obvious choice, obviously.
Yeah, I just
I
want
gotta let me say
to
this real
I
quick.
know some people that were Rams fans.
Done.
Before
I
me,
gotta
some
act to them. I apologize. I have to say this. I cannot let this go by. And please don't be offended when I'm saying. Is there anything to do in Montana? Because I've heard so many. Because it's a typical stereotype. But I would not be mad, Mike, if I did not ask. What the hell is there to do in Montana?
Well, let's just say there's a reason when I turned 18, I moved from Montana to Philadelphia. So got out of there.
Oh man.
It's
All right, you
mountains.
answered my question. Thank you. I'm sorry, Doug.
You go up there, you look at the mountains and stuff. Like
Yeah,
if you watch the show
exactly.
Yellowstone, it pretty much give you some type of picturesque of how that state is for the most part. It's like that's what they say is a millionaire's playground. They go up there, they get ranches, and live off the land.
That seemed like the type of place that you would go where if you just want to retire and just get away.
Exactly.
It's like Ted Turner, Arthur Blank. They got land up there.
Shit. Hey, look, shit. If I had some money, boy, I'd be in I'd be in Montana. I'm like, man, I don't care about the city life like that.
Right.
I like to looking at the stars, being out in the mountains. Shoot, that'd be cool, man.
Yeah.
But you had another question, Don. I think you was about to add something else as well.
All right. Well, we already been on it, so I guess. So who's your favorite Rams player of all time?
Favorite of all time. Just because he's the reason why I'm a fan. I got to go Kurt Warner. He had a great 3 or 4 year run. Won the franchise's first Super Bowl. Won the Super Bowl and won MVP, Super Bowl MVP. Had the great throw to Isaac Bruce in the Super Bowl. They ended up winning the game. I grew up a huge Kurt Warner fan, so he's probably my favorite of all time for sure. But got to give shout outs to kind of some of those like older legends like Jack Youngblood. You got the Pro Bowl coming up this week. You got the Pro Bowl coming up this week, and that guy played the Pro Bowl on a broken leg. So huge props to him back in the day doing that. Deacon Jones, just an absolute legend as well. Just kind of you only get highlights of him, but just just how he was able to just dominate people back in the day was something to see. But yeah, just as far as like you talked about earlier 6MP. You kind of we kind of latch on to these players that we grow up watching, and for me that was Kurt Warner. And I got to give a shout to Steven Jackson. He played on some really bad Rams teams, but unfortunately, you guys didn't get the best version of Steven Jackson to Atlanta. But absolutely loved watching when he was a player.
Hey man, when you try to carry a damn team for so long, man, eventually it takes a toll on them. And boy, you talk about a bad Rams team, bro.
Yeah.
They had no choice.
No.
But go ahead, Mike. Rams player, man. Go ahead, get to the next one. Rams player.
Ooh. This is hard for me. Oh man. I want to say Kurt Warner, but I was just a massive Marshall Faulk fan. I only watched The Greatest Show on Turf just to see what he was gonna do. Like that dude was just electrifying. This is athleticism, his all around game. He can block. Yeah, I'm talking about a run back blocking. All right, we do those things. Football fans, they do block. He was if you watch baseball and they have this thing called 5-2 player, that's Marshall Faulk. He could run, had great vision, power, speed, catch with his hand. He could block, incredibly intelligent. Like that dude was just an absolute animal. So like for me, I have to say Marshall Faulk, just different, man. But I love quarterbacks. Anybody know anything about me? I'm a quarterback freak.
Hey man. Go ahead, Don. What Michigan Rams player do you like off the field?
gonna say it like that. My favorite Rams player is Mel Owens. Linebacker.
Who the hell is Mel Owens?
Like I just said, look him up. Mel Owens, he was a linebacker for the Rams. He was a good linebacker back in the day for the Rams. Good, like, look, you ain't going to, he shooting every gap and he making tackles for loss.
Hold on. Let me make sure.
Mel Owens.
Hold on, I'm saying y'all look phone. Okay.
Y'all really gotta look him up. Like, wow.
I don't know.
I have no clue who the hell Mel Owens.
I don't know.
To be fair, I don't even know who Mel Owens is. So
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Bruh, I only go back to 1996. What we talking about?
Man, I can go all the way back. Football, I can recollect things back in the 50s and 60s. That's how I go look at stats and like film, if there is any film that you can watch.
Hey, like you said, man. Hey, but like you said, that's the interesting thing. Like you said, we go back and look at Mel Owens, so people can gravitate. Cause like you said, it may be a few people in here that may not know who he is. I mean,
he was good. It's just the Rams, their front four back in the 80s was god awful.
Oh, really?
So, like,
hey, man, shoot, I'm ready for that. But me, I always say this, and I say this cold-heartedly. Your quarterback is as good as your offensive line.
Oh God, why did that?
Orlando Pace was the him and Jonathan Ogden were the standard bearers for the left tackles in the mid-90s to the early 2000s. I mean, you just think about that for a second. You got about 6'7", 325 pounds of a dude that can move on his feet. See, tackles ain't built like that no more. They are left tackles at that or not.
Yeah, I definitely.
I saw a comment. It threw me off for a second.
Yeah. I saw that too, Kev. We gonna leave that one.
But yeah, like you said, man, Orlando Pace, like you said, he was always considered one of the best left tackles in the game, especially in the era where you had a lot of great left tackles, and he was always on top. Because you had to think about around that time, you had Jonathan Ogden, Walter Jones, was it Willie Anderson,
Steve Hutchinson.
Hell, yeah, Steve Hutchinson. Well, like I said, you had a lot of great offensive line, but it's like he was always on the upper echelon, and that's where Mark Bolger there benefited from it more really than Kurt Warner, because I think he came around. I think Orlando Pace, I think he came in 96 or 97. 97. Okay, so and Kurt Warner was there for about 5 years. So Warner and Bolger kind of had him around the same time, but Orlando Pace, man, he was the standard bearer for left tackles in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mark Bolger, what was your thoughts on him?
So I guess I started off really disliking it because he took my favorite player's starting spot there for a little bit, but by the end, he was a fun player. Another one of those quarterbacks that again came out of absolutely nowhere. I think he was a 6th round pick too. Late round pick that it kind of exceeded expectations, and I think he definitely benefited from being in that offense, having those playmakers. Having a guy like Orlando Pace, once Pace left, Bolger was getting just absolutely crushed behind the makeshift offensive line that they were putting together. So, but yeah, I liked him more towards the end than I did in the beginning.
Yeah, because I don't know what the hell y'all thought about. What was his name? Cam Robinson? But y'all thought y'all was getting a premier offensive lineman, and
Greg Robinson,
Greg Robinson. Okay. I knew it was a Robinson somewhere. I'm just glad I'm not dunce headed and said Bijan, but I'm just saying. Yeah, that and like you said, just seeing the Rams going from where they were in those dark times, as you said. And then, like you said, it started with Aaron Donald. Then they took a chance on Jared Goff. I mean, Jared Goff, he wasn't really a world beater, but as far as what the team needed at that time, it worked. It worked out. Sometimes it's unfortunately Todd Gurley. Brittle knees didn't really hold up long enough for him to really carve out a career with the Reds. I think that may have been one of the biggest what if stories of this new NFL.
I have a question. So, are we talking about, Rams players that you loved? I want to switch it. Like, what was the worst Rams player that had you cursing at the screen every single Sunday? You just couldn't wait to get him on.
So I still have nightmares about Jason Sehorn diving towards the middle of the field and Steve Smith ran past him and double overtime in the Feast divisional game. So there's him. Craig Dahl is another one. Just an absolutely terrible safety. Greg Robinson. He was. He was seen as that kind of blue chip left, going to be that blue chip left tackle, and I'm pretty sure he had 5 holdings every single game, 5 holding penalties. He was bad. But yeah, no, it's got to be Jason Sehorn for sure.
I forgot about that, Ron. Good gracious,
I forgot Jason Sehorn.
Yeah, I forgot that. That was pretty bad.
Oh my, yeah.
You got to tell. Oh boy, you got to tell him that. That was bad.
Oh man, who was that guy? And speaking of that, since we flipped it on him, let's flip it on us. Like, I mean, these people already kind of know about the Falcons players that make us mad all the time. But let's go ahead and reiterate for those that may not know. So, Don, who was the Falcons player that made you mad every Sunday that you seen them?
Ted McKinley.
He said that with no hesitation.
Ted McKinley.
That's Rams legend, Tack McKinley. Played.
Yep, he did. And let me tell you why I got him over anybody else. This dude hyped himself up on draft night. Had the picture of his late grandmama. I think it was got to be a 20 by 20 picture with the frame and everything, saying that get to the quarterback. He ain't gonna live, cussing on TV and all that other stuff. Came out, did absolutely nothing. So yeah, he had me cussing. He had me cussing at my TV for a while. Other than that, I don't think anybody else for real. To be honest with you, it's between him and Robert Alford. I know everybody gonna say Robert Alford. He got that pick 6 off Brady in the Super Bowl, but you really go back and look at his 10th time here in Atlanta. Oh my goodness, man! This man can get it every time the ball get thrown. So a flag gonna get thrown for pass.
We used to call him in the household Pissy Yellow Flag because every time he played, that flag coming out somewhere.
I'm telling you, man. I'm like, and it'd be like, man, you didn't even have to do that. Like the ball was overthrown. There was no way that the receiver would catch the ball.
Oh man, we seeing some names in the chat already, man. So it's that Dante Fowler, Thomas Deku. Mike, what you got? What you got on this, man?
Devondre Campbell.
Oh man. This is kind of difficult. I gotta say, Mr. Ricardo Allen, like, is that some bitch? Like, they hyped him up to be a superhero, and then he get in the game, he always like 5 steps behind the. Like that used to what the hell are you doing? He's supposed to be the smartest guy on the field. They like he's supposed to have a damn Einstein PhD, and he's the hero of the fucking world, and he's always 5 steps behind. In the end zone, I remember this. I forget who they were playing, but dude Was it AJ Green? It may have been AJ, but it was in the back of the end zone by himself. Somehow the ball got there and Ricardo Allen, but he was late. I'm like, dude, you already over there and you still late. So Ricardo Allen is a guy for me that's like
Was that
I
in
just
20?
That was against the Bengals. That was against the
it
Bengals.
was against the Bengals. And I was like, what?
That was
Was that
Kevin Ridley's
2018?
short
That was
game.
2018, right? Because
Yeah, that was Kevin Ridley's short
Yeah.
game.
Oh
Yeah,
my
'cause
God,
I
man.
remember that because me and the missus was at the game that day, and I got mad as hell about that.
Yeah, that was. I was
remember.
like, man,
That
if
was
you look at.
Willie had caught 2 touchdowns that game, I believe. And
Yep.
yeah, and like we got into a shootout with AJ, but
Yeah.
doggone, oh my goodness,
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton. I'm like, really, we get into a shootout with Andy Dalton. Our defense was horrible, man. I swear.
Yeah, because Desmond Trufant dropped 2 interceptions that could have sealed the game.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that. I remember that. I'd have had to hear Bengals talk in my vicinity for about 60 minutes, so it still played in my head right there.
And that was like, I think that was the 3rd game of the season, and I'm like, yeah, we played that game. I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a long season. Our defense. I knew that season right there. Our defense regressed, and we know our defense before that wasn't even really all that. But like, I'm like, yeah, we really need to change with the defense. But whatever.
Man. But anybody that knows the content that we put out for years, everybody knows there's one player in this Falcon uniform that makes me more mad than anybody in life. Y'all may know him as Mr. Route 96. For those that may not know who Route 96 was, is Mr. Tyler Davison.
Oh Lord.
Made me
I knew he was gonna
mad for his whole tenure here.
that man stole money.
I was happy when we got him because I'm thinking we're gonna get a plug in the middle. But then on national TV,
Oh man, yeah.
This
against
dude,
the Saints,
his former
he's
team
sitting
that
over
we
there.
got him from.
He's sitting over there dapping, kiki ha-haing with the Saints after they scored a touchdown. He was celebrating with Saints players. I said, I'm done with him. No.
But I had some words to say with him on Twitter because he had a Twitter account. He blocked me after that. I don't know. Like,
That was pretty bad.
he's all because he like the right team. Whatever.
I'm sitting here. I'm thinking like, bro, we're trying to win the game, and you're sitting over here doing the cha-cha slide with the Saints players. Nah, we ain't doing this.
Yeah, like I was done with him. I'm like, man, he was like, how you that big and you getting bullied off the line of scrimmage? And that was another thing too, man. I'm like, dude.
Well, hey, like, look. I'm about to say, look. At least Blaine ain't had to go through them problems. The Rams knew they need to both their defensive line up because when they got Aaron Donald, then you start seeing Ndamukong Suh coming over there.
Man,
Sean Robinson, like they knew what time it was.
I mean, y'all just gotta be lucky. I end up a Saints fan. My dad's a Saints fan, so you're like.
Oh God, bless your heart. I'm bless your heart.
His dad is smart.
Sorry.
Tori, this is a Rams and Falcons show. You are not allowed on this show.
Y'all always bringing us up though.
Somebody look. Hey.
Oh my goodness! And that, my friends, is the residential unaccounted member of the show. Hey, Tori, how you doing?
Yeah, she might want to be quiet. I'm up here trying to nurse her. She not feeling good, so
feel better. But
feel better. I see a lot of Paul Warlow in here. So
somebody said Marlon Davidson.
Wow, Marlon. Yeah, he didn't do anything. I was like,
Boy,
how
hurt
can
all
you
the
get
time.
hope? How you get your hopes up for somebody that never got on the freaking field?
He was
He
hurt
got a.
all the time, man. Like I'm like, he was a dog at Auburn, but like he came to us, man. I'm like, bro.
He's the definition of a chihuahua.
I love to hit. Like he had a whole interview talking about something. It just I love the game of football that you can hit somebody and ain't nobody gonna press charges on you. I'm like, bro, you ain't. Who did you hit?
Exactly.
You hit like you hit the blue tent. Every time you got on the field, you had to go to the blue tent to get evaluated. You getting hurt. Dude stayed on IR.
Ooh. Peter Cons. Yeah. That was number 2 right there.
Oh man, Peter Cons, bro. Oh man, Lord.
All right. But okay, y'all, man. Like I said, man, we got about a few more minutes here, man. If y'all get a couple more questions in here for Blaine, and like I said, we go ahead and let him answer them questions for y'all. But hey, Blaine, tell them. Okay, so I know you said you work on the college football website, man. So what is your like which college prospect have you, if you've paid attention here recently, that you say that we need to watch out for, man?
Yeah, so I'm just doing I've been watching the Senior Bowl last couple of days, and Quinion Mitchell from Toledo has he's a fun player at cornerback. He's a smaller school player, but he's, I think last couple of years he's had over, I think he's had like 25 passes defended, 6 interceptions, something like that. But he's shown that down in Mobile that he can compete with the guys from the bigger schools, and he's a player that I've absolutely fought with. So he's somebody that I have my eye on for the Rams at 19, as we rebuild our secondary. But one guy that I'm just absolutely going to be intrigued to kind of watch him throughout the process is Jaden Daniels from LSU. Like, is he a guy that ends up going in the top 10? Is he somebody that the team trades up for in the top 5 even? Just with the value of the quarterback position, and he was so electric this year at LSU that I'm really excited to see kind of where he ends up. I'm kind of hoping he ends up in Atlanta to kind of give you guys some another electrifying piece on that offense. But I think him kind of paired with Kyle Pitts, Bijan, and Drake London would be a lot of fun.
You brought up the Toledo corner. I'm like, I had to think about. I'm like, that's a dude that got beat by Roman Wilson today. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think so.
Of course he's gonna throw. You know why he was gonna throw that in there now.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Wilson is letting it up, man. Roman Wilson is letting it up at the Senior Bowl.
Listen, I take my answer back on Jason Sehorn. I think I'm going to go with a Michigan player, David Long, played for us for 4 years.
Thank you. I love you, Blaine. Thank you for saying that.
I was hoping you were going to bring that up, but whatever. It's cool.
Well, we don't hurt.
You know, quiet the done. This is the first time this ever happened.
Quiet me, like, hey, every Michigan player is not great, so I know that. Like, shoot, we had Jalen Mayfield on our team.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, come on, like, I'm a realist. All right, when it comes down to, I'm gonna be real. If a player trash, I'm gonna say he trash. If he good, I'm gonna say he good.
Well, I say it like this: at least your school puts out. My school mostly puts out special teams players. So I can't say nothing about nothing right now. The best player
How y'all are a technology school? What I'm talking about, y'all are the smartest school in the country, but y'all got special team guys.
I mean, the thing about it is how the hell are you going to compete in the recruiting pool when you got to deal with Georgia all day?
Not only that, though, man, them classes are hard at Tech, man. Ain't nobody trying to go down and take all them hard classes.
Man, I know, I know. They turned me away. They turned me away after spelling my name, so I know.
Look, man, let me tell you, we had a shadow. We went on a field trip in the 10th grade. We had a shadow some Georgia Tech students, and I sat in there in the lecture. I'm like, no, I'd rather go to Atlanta Tech before I go.
Yeah, but we mostly put out special teams play. I think the best player I think we'd have put out in the league in the last few years has been Darren Waller. But at his point in time, he was y'all know his situation and stuff like that. And they said the second one is
the one that's in the league now.
Presley Harvin the third.
Man, the best player that came out of Tech ain't even a football player. He played football, but he ain't even playing football. He made football his career. For being real.
Yeah. So, hey man, that's
okay. So should I make the announcement now because
we're going about the hour mark.
Miss Maggie done pulled me into the principal's office, so I guess I gotta make that announcement now. So. As you saw earlier today on Twitter, I pretty much stated that we are no longer Atlanta Falcons content creators. So that is we're leaving that behind. It will never ever return. So if you guys have subscribed to Mad Mike Sports, don't unsubscribe. No, I'm just playing. We're NFL content creators. We're expanding. We're no longer just solely Atlanta Falcons content creators. We're going to reach out to people like Gridiron Grizak. All right. We're going to reach out to people like him. We're going to cover a lot of NFL teams. We're going to hit on a lot of the hot topics. So, look, man, we owe it to a lot of the people who, just love the NFL game. Like I said, we want to expand, want to continue to show our range. So I appreciate everybody who continue to support us. Blaine, thank you for having gracing us with your presence. And K Styles, give him the last word.
All right. So as Mike was saying, we are not stopping Atlanta Falcon content. We're not stopping that.
We're NFL content creators, but we specialize. NFL content creators specializing in Atlanta Falcons.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
So when you see shows where we're doing 2 hour live, we're not going to be doing 2 hour lives with just Falcons. That means we're going to be covering everything.
Everything. So yeah, Maggie knew I was on some BS. I mean, y'all should know me by now. You never knew. Don't trust me, okay? I'm telling y'all, do not trust me, okay? I am the bad guy. I am Scott Hall. I'm the bad guy. I am Senator Palpatine.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't trust him because he's the only person I know that eats original skins, no flavor, just regular skins.
What's wrong with that?
You gotta have some.
You started with me too. Like what? Like you offended me.
I don't care.
I'm
Oh God. Look, so I said quality.
Wow. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
No. What we're gonna say is we're gonna be covering all football teams, but we're gonna take it in a more diabolical approach to it. So it's not really just rumors, it's conversation based on news.
We told people this was coming, like literally this past summer. We said that we were gonna move into this, so I don't know what's shocking. We ain't gotta lie about stuff. When we say we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it. So,
and then Don didn't even ask about nobody's restaurant, and we still ended up talking about food. All right, man. We about to go and get up on out of here, man. Grizzy, let you go ahead and plug yourself, man. It was a pleasure with you being on with
yes, sir.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Had a lot of fun talking ball with y'all. You can find me over at Turf Show Times, writing about the Rams. Okay. And then also you can follow me on Twitter at @BGreasackTST.
All right, so we're gonna definitely be putting that in our community tab as well. So, like I said, y'all definitely show my man over here some love. As you already know, we the heavy hitters. Hey man, what we always say, man, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Oh yeah, dig it.
You ain't got to go home.
But you got to get the hell up out of here.
See, y'all motherfuckers got me going to go start get some pork rinds.
I'm supposed to be doing good, so I ain't even eating no pork rinds. I'm about to go get me a pickle.
Oh,
Who the hell eats pickles?
Man, this ain't high school, man.
Right.
Hey.
I'm overdone.
They do be hitting though when at last resort them things do be hitting though.
I'm telling you, boy.
All right, we done, y'all. We
done, y'all.
Peace.
Oh my God.